Hey, what's going on? My name is Brian Bauer, and today I want to just address a couple questions about scale length in guitars. We're going to talk about extended range guitars today because, well, it's a long thing. I do get asked about scale length once in a while, like, hey, I'm looking for this 7-string guitar, but this one has 26.5-inch scale, this one has 25.5-inch scale, or whatever. So we're going to talk about the 7-string guitars today, maybe a little bit about the 8, and I'll explain a little bit what's up. So I have my RG, a 7-string here, and I have my Solar A1.7D 7-string. There is a difference between these two guitars. This particular guitar is 25.5-inch scale. However, this Solar guitar has a 26.5-inch scale, so it's gonna make a little bit of a difference here. Okay, so why would we want a 26.5-inch scale over a 25? Big reason why you'd want a longer scale length is because we have a tighter string tension on this guitar, which makes this guitar essentially better for down tuning. If you wanted to get into, you know, the drop A's or something else, this guitar is just gonna have, you know, just more string tension. It's gonna have less flub in that low end. However, one of the big things with that is that now we don't need to have strings that are, you know, the size of brake cables just to keep our tension up. However, there is a little bit of a difference. This guitar I have tuned to just B standard, so B, E, A, D, G, B, E. Standard scale, and it works perfectly fine with the B string. I do have 10 through 59 strings on this guitar, as well as the other one. It's the same. This one works great for standard. Now, here is where there's a little bit of a difference. This guitar is going to feel a whole lot more normal. If you're used to a 6-string with 25.5-inch scale necks, you know, then you're gonna have no problem playing this one. It's gonna be the same kind of stretch and whatnot. And you get that useful extra string. It's gonna be good. The stretches aren't gonna be anything different. Now, if we get into this guitar, and this is an awesome guitar, this has the 26.5-inch scale, but the stretch is gonna be a little bit more, I find. Sometimes you're trying to do those really hefty things. I'm gonna have to fight a lot more with it than I ever have to with the 25.5. Now, I think this guitar has this awesomely beefy kind of sound as that string tension there. So you get a really awesome sound out of this just because of that string tension, but it's a little harder to play. Solar, however, though, this guitar is designed, it plays really well, really easily, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But if you got smaller hands, might be something that you need to think about. So here in my hands, I have a Harley Benton 8-string multi-scale guitar. This one, instead of having the same scale across the board like the other guitars, this has a multi-scale. You can find this in the 6, 7, and 8 as well. And the same kind of principle applies because we're going to be playing with much lower notes. That's the whole point of having something like this, progressive tension. So this one goes from 25.5-inch, just like this RG over here, but it progressively changes all the way up so you get a 27. Why would you want 27? It'd be for the same reason we want a 26 maybe on that 7-string. We're tuning really low. This is actually in an E flat. Really low, but we still have this tension, the 27 inches. Now that's a pretty big string there, okay? If we have a smaller scale, that's probably not going to sound near as good, so it keeps it tight so it actually rings and sounds good, you know? Now there's a lot going on here. So you either can have the regular Fender scale, which is cool. You can have the 26.5-inch. You can even get 27 like across the board. It'll work fine too for you. Just get it set up right. Remember, that's gonna be a real stretch. But one thing I really like about this multi-scale is that this is really easy to play here, but we still get that beefy low note. Wow, I hit that bad. I'm not an 8-string player, by the way, so you know that. Trying to play Sleep Token, you know. So when you are looking for a guitar and you've seen those different scale lengths and you're not sure, just remember, longer scale length is gonna have a much tighter sound for down tuning. If you're not gonna down tune, maybe 25 works for you. 25, easier to play, you know, just not as much of a stretch. 26 is gonna be better for down tuning. It's gonna have a bit of a tighter tone to it because the strings are a little tighter. Also gonna work better for down tuning, but more of a stretch to play. Keep that in mind. If you're gonna get multi-scale, which in some cases is going to maybe be the best, especially on something like an 8 string, you're gonna have something that it is a little funny to play. It seems like first, but it's really easy to get used to. You got progressive tension across the board. Now, it's really gonna be up to you what makes sense. So if you can try some different guitars out, definitely try them out. I prefer the 25.5-inch scale 7 string. I can easily work with the Solar that's got the 26.5, and I can easily play this. But would I want 27 or 26 all the time? Not really. Hey, Gibson might be your thing too, 24.75 inch. Some guitars have 25, but you know, for down tuning, 26 on the 7 string works pretty good. Remember, setups are everything. Fresh strings, whole works. I hope I answered a question or two. I rambled on a little bit. Hope that helped. You guys all have a great day. If you can click the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. If I should go deeper into one of these topics, well, tell me what you want to hear about. I'll chat with you soon, and I'll talk to you later. See yous.